Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, and I'm going to do something very interesting today. We are going to look at Zollin from the past, even though technically you're watching Zollin from the past, but this is farther Zollin from the farther past. Yeah. So anyway, this is our clear back at 150. So this is like 5 months ago now, I think it is. And I have to do a couple shout outs right here at the beginning of the video covering this. All right. You can see people on the left right there in the thing. So what I'm going to do is I decided instead of editing it, I was like, how do I do an editing of putting my voiceover and go through it quickly? And I realized, why don't I just watch the video and I can jump through and explain stuff as we go, all right? And why this was so cool, and this is a really big achievement for our kinship because we started raiding like at the tail end of the 150 cap, so the instances and raids had already been out for a very long time, which is why we're very excited with the Kingdoms of Harad right now, because we're able to start from the beginning. But we worked really hard over like 4 months to do that last like 3 or 4 months grind, and then work to try to get up to at least beat tier 3 of depths. Technically there was 5 tiers, but at least beat tier 3, because that was the really hard challenge and had a good, once you beat that, you were able to trade in the little things you earned to get better gear, because it was like a catch-up mechanic they had added in by the end of the time. But I want to do a big shout out to the Descendants of the Tree and another group here as well. You can see everyone's names, but Lordoflores was very influential in helping us. Him and Daniel worked this together and planned this together, and he talked with me as well. Thank you so much for your help. He was so patient and kind. I kept telling him I was going to make this video, and it took me a while, so I apologize. But just so much happened over the holiday seasons, and it's just been crazy. So I'm really happy to be making this video right now. So anyway, welcome everyone, welcome. If you found this fun and a little bit of a history of depths here at the cap level, that's what this video will be, and covering a tier 3 clear. That might be a little bit of a spoilers, but we're going to jump through it here and go through it. So again, we have different people here. Lordoflores, I know it's a little bit tiny. We have Cat was here. Cat, Catphish was helping us out. We had Havoc, HVAC. Rick was in the group. Jay was there. Where's Jay been, by the way? Are you okay, Jay? I feel like I haven't talked to him in a long time. And then we had Shylah and Glain with us. We had Galad. We had Brentina, and who was helping us. And then, of course, Daniel and DeWise Tiger. And then we also had Fredhin. I can't see the I there. Hild, or H-I-L? Yeah, anyway, you'll see their names floating as I turn them off and on throughout the thing as well. So again, there was about 5 or 6 that helped us, some of our kin, kind of learn and run through it. And they were awesome. They were super great support. Again, big thanks to them. You can see most of us are from there. There's the other kinship right there. From Virulent, Virulent. And the Descendants of the Tree members. You can see most of the Descendants of the Tree members there too. So that was really kind of them to help us go through this and kind of learn it. And, they were very kind. They said we did a really good job, which was very, very sweet. We appreciate that. But it was really fun. So let's get through it. So I'm going to go ahead and push play, and as I talk, I'll explain things. Now, I did not have our voices on when I did this, so we're kind of prepping to start this first boss. I'm going to walk you through every fight to an extent with my memory here and as we do things, and like what I'm doing as a tank for this fight. Now granted, at this point it's a little irrelevant because it's not the main content. I will be making guides on the newer stuff very soon, as I learn it. I want to learn it first. I need really to get through it. But our group is hoping our kinship to get to the level where we can do higher and with the tiers, and then hopefully teach other people in our kinship and help other people out too as well, and kind of return the favor, obviously. To send to the Trini Yard help with something, of course, we'd love to try to help out too, making different raid groups if they need other people, but they got a big kin too, so I think they're fine. But just so they know. Oh, Jay was from Goblins for Hire, by the way. You can see everyone's names right there. I know they're a little meshed around there with all the names floating, but I left those out. We're prepping right now. We're talking about stuff. I did not record our audio for our voices at all in this, and also I have the sounds turned way down, so there's like no music or anything. So again, I will hop around. Also, there are some sounds, so what I'm going to do is I'd like it if you could hear some of the audio. So let's see if I do this. That should give you some of the audio. Let me just make sure I do that. We can, let's go ahead and skip 30 seconds here. right. Still doesn't seem like it's giving you guys any... Oh, yeah, you can hear it. I see you can hear it. We're good. Okay, Good. It seems like it's catching it through my other sound thing, so that's good. So yeah, we're basically prepping here to get going, and this is our first pull of the first boss with this Agassiz Sea Shadow. Now, remember, this instance is called Depths. This instance comes before in the storyline of Temple, which we ran many times on this channel, both of them. So if you were curious to see any of that fun gameplay, it's all on the channel, on the VODs, on the streams, and the playlists I have set up for that. So you can totally use that. But again, I hope you guys do enjoy this little video. This is probably a little less... I will make it as entertaining as possible for you. But, you know, it's not one of my regular kind of videos. This is an unusual video I'm making today. But I really thought it was cool, and for those who really are curious about raiding stuff, you can kind of see a glimpse at as a challenging raid. Okay, Tier 3 Depths was hard. Let's put it that way. It was very hard. Yes, there were higher tiers on it, but Tier 3 was like, if you get Tier 3 at least, you're doing it, right? You're getting somewhere. Tier 2 was challenging too, but Tier 1 was pretty much story mode. So you still need to know mechanics, though. So anyway, we're having some conversations here. There is some chat in the bottom right corner. I can go like that for a minute. That might be a little easier for you to see our chat if we bring anything up. Jay is asking me to talk about tanking. So me and him had... He is a great tank. Jay is a great tank. We really had a fun time. And this is us having a conversation, which I am not typing. This is, again, you know, a video that we're watching. But we're going to go ahead and skip through a little bit here because this is a very long video and I don't want to make my recording 4 hours. So we're going to be skipping through and I'm going to show you some key battles things. So we're going to go start teleporting around now. So let me go ahead and jump here. I'll just start doing jumps. So we start the fight right here. Let's go back a few seconds. All right. This is where we start. This is our very first pull and attempt. So this is a very hard... You have to really do a lot of management as the two tanks here. And it's challenging. So there's a couple different things that have to be happening. Now, there's some mechanics that aren't really a thing now. Later, I'm going to go back to this site because it freaks me out. I'm sure it freaked you out too. But I have to hold certain characters here. And Jay has to hold the other ones. And I have to be interrupting 2 of them. And we had different people interrupting different characters in this fight. And our champion has to taunt off the one guy, and then Jay or me have to pull it back. So unfortunately something happened here. One of them got their abilities off, and we got an Oathbreaker out. And it just, you can see all our health bars on the left. It starts going south really quick. That is how this fight works. It is very, very challenging fight. I really had a great time. It was really fun playing with the group, with the Sinister Tree and the other 2 kinships that were helping us here. I really learned a lot. It was really fun. You know, I've been raiding for a long time. I had a big break in the middle when I was doing stuff right at... I was the end of my high school, and I did like my first year of college. I didn't really play a whole ton. I played LOTRO. I just didn't like do raiding. I like the 110 cap as much. A little bit. I played with a few people, but not as committed with doing stuff all the time. But it really was fun to really get back into raiding like I used to at level 50, 60, 70. I did a lot of raiding then. But right now I'm basically hoping... I want Zaggoron to come closer to me, so I'm making sure I'm keeping aggro on him. I have to constantly be watching different abilities. Now, you're going to notice the way I'm doing abilities here is going to be very different than the guide video I make on the Guardian. The Guardian was literally, at the time of making this video, we just had a massive Guardian update. The Red Guard is actually going to be good now, I think, which is really exciting with damage output. But the Blue Guard has some very weird changes, let's put it that way. They decided to take the threat aggro off Vexing Blow without saying anything in the patch notes and then put it on to Sweeping Tide, which means basically Vexing Blow is mostly useless, which is a weird one. And they also took away the corruption removal off Sting and they put it on Stagger, which makes it slightly longer, 5 seconds instead of 2.5, but it kind of makes Sting only good for opening block repair responses from if you have the tree traded. So which I actually do think it's probably good to trade both. At this point, we are struggling a little bit. We've lost 2 people. We've lost a lot of damage. Daniel's down. We revived Flames. You have a few, you bring revives. So you can see we have 2 minstrels and 2 captains and a bear. I'm not remember if the bear's in DPS. It might be in DPS, so I might not have a revive. And then we also have one of our healers. Who is our other? I'm trying to think who. No, excuse me. I think the bear is healing. So I think they also have a revive. Because I think it's, or was Havoc healing? Hold on, I don't, gosh, this is the problem with watching it 5 months later. I don't remember. I'm wondering if Havoc is, no, I think Havoc's with the red line. I'm pretty sure. But it would be weird to have the bear in the same group as Glain healing. I think Havoc was healing too. I think we just had 2 minis healing this one. Which ideally you want to have like 1 of each healer if possible. So this was a little more challenging, not having a Runekeeper healer. But you gotta use what you got at the time, right? Now, one thing with the redo of, they're really redoing classes now since this 5 months ago. They're redoing it where there's more a generalizedness to classes. So you're not so forced to take, like, for example, the mini Call to Greatness was very strong, and to not bring a mini with Call to Greatness was kind of like dumb. So now they made it where Call to Greatness is still powerful, but it's not like super core changing for the entire raid. And I know it's kind of a bummer. So I took all the aggro for a second there, and then Jay took it back. I don't know if you noticed. I used my emergencies because we're trying to buy time, right? To finish off. You know, there's a lot of, we're having to do a lot of damage. So if you notice, we did get everybody back up because we do have a whole lot of revives in this group with having 2 minis, 2 captains, and a bear. Again, I think that bear is DPS bear though, so I don't think they have a revive in there in DPS. So we have 4 in combat. So that's pretty good. But yeah, you could see how it's pretty intense. I think the hardest thing about Depths and Temple for higher tier fights was the amount of mind concentration you had to keep for a long period of time. Very long period of time. You really had to focus. And when you lost, it was like, oh, and you had to redo that again. So it takes a lot of mental stress. Or I should say fortitude would be a better one. Not only does it take skill and experience in certain things, and while you learn these new mechanics if you're brand new. Now, we had been doing it on tier 2 and tier 1 constantly, and we were pretty good at it with our kinship at that point. So tier 3 basically added another enemy in this fight. There was another NPC or 2 NPCs. I'm trying to remember which one. Zagharon was always there. I believe it added the Mariner, which has already been killed. So we were still fighting. Jay is getting a little low here. So I take all the aggro off Jay, and I turn on my Juggernaut too, so they're all hitting me, just so the healers can catch up on Jay's health bar, because you can see he has a lot of bleeds on him right there on the left. So that is the trick. And by the way, Guardians and Captains has always been a really great tag team for tanking in general. It has been for many years. Some people the other day, I heard someone say, like, Captains, like, oh, you know, their Guardians are just so good, that's why they were nerfing a few things, because Captains aren't even used. I'm going, that's not true. Captains are really good. It depends on the fight and situation. And they didn't really nerf the tank or anything. It's still really good. They just removed a few things like the Fellowship Maneuver, which was kind of disappointing. I don't know why they did that. I am curious to see, with my health being 665,000 like it is right now, with, oh, that was the Warrior's Hearts on that. It's so funny now because I can hit 1,000,000 HP at 160. This is 150 for this cap. Unfortunately, Glain just went down, so we just lost one of our healers to an ability. And Aga Sea Shadow is starting to cast an AoE Roar, which, if you notice, just hit the entire group. So our goal is, so Zagharon is almost dead. And then this girl's over here trying to cast all of her abilities, and I'm desperately trying to interrupt things. The amount of, I just remember doing this fight. It just watching makes my brain hurt. We did it. We did a very good job, but you really, it was a punishing fight on tanks. It was a punishing fight. And everybody, really, because all the DPS had kind of an interrupt target. I'm taking some big hits here, which is scary. I got a little scared at that moment. I remember I was like, oh no, because I'm getting some really bad bleeds on me, and so is Jay. So I'm desperately trying to prep my skills correctly. I'm trying not to use Guardian's Pledge. That's something you have to be very good at when you're in higher tier raids, no matter what role you're playing. Tank, healer, DPS, or support, you really have to think about, do I really need to use my emergency right now? And sometimes you feel like you're gambling a little bit, but really you're trusting your team. You're trusting your team that they're doing everything right, and you know, okay, I'm definitely not going to die right now because my healer is up, right? But right now we are doing it without one of our healers. Glain went down. So I don't remember the outcome of this first. Did we do it in a first thing? It's looking pretty good right now, because we just have the main boss, and we have that one, and we have this archer we're trying to finish off. So we're in a good spot, but it I don't know, we'll find out, won't we, in a second. So if you notice, Lordoflores just took a huge hit because Agassiz Shadow went after him. And that is unfortunately something you can't really, he'll just target you. And usually what you do is at that point, the champion normally will taunt Agassiz to do a debuff to him, which isn't a thing they have now, by the way. Another change. They did change a lot since this patch. I gotta say the 150 the 150 cat felt very good. It felt like, I just really thought everything felt really good. So hopefully it still feels that way with all the new stuff with 160. But again, it's new, we're learning, right? It's probably gonna be great. I feel like they've learned some stuff. There's good set bonuses again, which makes me happy because I love the Guardian set bonuses. Now, they're not the same, but they look pretty cool. The Guardian set bonuses, instead of the cooldown on Guardian's Pledge, is going to be on Juggernaut, which I'm curious how much it'll let you do the cooldown, how fast, because that will technically be better. Juggernaut is a better ability, even though it's a longer cooldown. So it will be harder to bring up even with the cooldown reduction from new set. That's 160. I'm getting off topic here, but I want to talk about other things while we're watching this. From the perspective of Zollin. And I mean, I feel like this is probably fine recording-wise, right? Like, it looks like I'm playing the game normal, right? I was over here thinking, like, I'm gonna have to, like, voice dub edits in, and that's gonna take forever. I was like, why don't I just record the video of the recording while I talk? Problem solved. You can see right here, by the way, when I'm getting hit, my TPS, it's so funny. I've always been a tank and a player that plays the game kind of by my own self-knowledge and like healing. So I kind of know where like a lot of people like to use the like combat analysis and stuff. This is one of the first times I was really using combat analysis for a few months and learning about it. I didn't even know what a good TPS was, which is basically how much damage you're taking per second. I didn't even know what it was. And I remember Jay and Lord being like, Zollin, how much damage are you taking? And I was like, oh, it's about 23. You can see it right there. And they're like, that's really good. It means like I've got good gear and I'm doing my rotations correctly. But like I do it by like feel. I've always done that with my tanking or my DPS or whatever. I just learn what is the best rotation and like kind of learn when a boss does abilities. And once I learn the mechanic, I learn how to like know when to do something. You know, just learning the old-fashioned way, right? Not using any systems to know. But, you know, that was a good feeling when they were like, oh, that's really good. You know, like, anything under, like, 26 is really good. So they were like, the fact you're keeping that on tier 3 is really good. So that was kind of good. And then we did it. We did it first pull, first try, tier 3. And unfortunately, Daniel got knocked down by a bleed. We were all kind of giggling about it, I remember. Daniel's like, oh, we did it. Well, why am I dead again? But everyone was doing a really good job in that fight. So, yeah. So we did it first try. And let me go ahead and do a little skip here. I actually got the boots, which was pretty cool. But I already had them, but I think they were higher level. But so then we go into the next part. So we nailed it first try. We were all pretty excited about that, actually, that we did it first try on tier 3. We weren't sure how it was going to go. We all talked about it with the Descendants of the Tree and the other two helping us, Kinships. And Catfish, I forget what group he was from, because he doesn't have a kinship. I don't remember if he was from what kinship he was from, but there's his name. I remember him telling me, and I apologize because, you know, 5 months later, I wish I had a memory that could remember every single little detail, but you know, I don't think most people would fault me for that. But I appreciate it. He gave me the boots for my burglar because he had them all. So that was very kind. Nobody else had a burglar that needed them. So I was like, sweet. And then I believe I gave mine to somebody too who needed it. Which is what you really should do with, you know, like as a team, right? Like I always recommend that there's like protocol, right? Between friends or between kinships and then between even people you're playing with randomly. Like it's your loot, you got it. But like if you like really don't need it, and you got someone else in your group, even a 6-man who really needs it, or a group that would like to roll on it, I think letting them roll on it is nice. You don't have to. You could keep it for stuff. Everybody was handing me all the things for different classes because nobody needed it in this group. They were really teaching us and helping us, and our goal was to get the clear for our main characters because once one character cleared it on your account, you could trade in for any piece of gear. So they were just giving, you know, that was sweet because no one else in my kin needed it. Yeah. So that's one thing I always try to do as a kin leader too. It's like, especially with the Pioneers group, we need to like sometimes get, the raiding group needs to get their gear, but at the same time, all the raiding group we're pretty nice. We want everyone to get stuff too. So usually when we're doing stuff and running stuff, sometimes I'll let just like anyone roll on in a 6-man, you know, kind of thing. Now when you have a specific group like this, we have specific people that need things. We will try to, as a group, if we've already all agreed on it, like, hey, if anyone gets this piece, this needs to go to, you know, Galad's character, this needs to go to Daniel's character, or Zollin's character, or, you know, Rick's character, Glain, Shylah, those are the 6 of us that was from our kinship. I believe the other 6 was from the other 3 that tried to do this. Now, we were hoping to run this again with some of our other members, but it just didn't work out with time-wise, and the new stuff came out. And the new level cap came out, and literally because we got this. I haven't got this gear, and it was like 2 weeks before the new expansion. So pretty much, it was cool to be able to do the accomplished people. We were able to use it, and that was kind of the thing. We really want to do another run where once we knew how to do it, we were going to try to have other members of our Pioneers group come in and things like that. This was not a regular Pioneers time. We tried to time just so people had time for it with the Descendants of the Tree. We would have definitely started running with everybody. Get everyone in the Pioneers group the clear, and then we would have tried to get other people in the kinship to clear. But at that point, it was irrelevant because the new expansion came out. So that's what we're going to try to do with the 160 expansion, since we are starting right at the beginning. We're just literally at the time of me making this video, I have beat the new boss once in the first 3 days of it being out. By the third day. Second day, we were working on the first 2 bosses and the third boss, and then the third day we beat the third boss and the new 4th boss, which I don't want to give you spoilers. If you want to go see that, go watch the VOD. It's a pretty awesome battle. I didn't give myself spoilers either. I didn't let anyone tell me who the boss was, and I was very excited. It was very cool. So anyway, they were telling me, Jay's like, no, Zollin, you know how to do it. You can go pull everything. I was like, okay. With a little embellishment there. But you can see me tiptoeing as I'm like, oh, here they are. Now, if you noticed, I was able to hit him with War Chant. They've now reduced the distance of War Chant by 10 meters. So, kind of lame. But, again, the Guardian has a lot of utility. So, they're trying to just kind of balance it with other things. I guess they felt like they were too strong. I will always stick to my guns on this. I always think it's a better idea to buff other classes to be closer to who's strong than do massive nerfs on a class that's strong. And I know people's immediate argument are, that's going to cause power creep, Zollin. Yes, but that isn't really relevant when you're talking the number levels here. They're not huge. It's just not... It's kind of like a failed issue with the idea of power creep. Power creep's always going to happen no matter what. Power creep is going to happen. So you can notice here I take massive bleed damage. So I'm trying to chain my abilities correctly and use my pots. And trying to use my removals because these ad pulls were hard. And also it's really hard to see when there's bushes. As you can see, it's kind of a pain. I had a feeling, I thought we wiped on one of these pulls here. But yeah, I think I ran out of cooldowns here and I think I die. I have like 9, look at that, I have like 7 bleeds on it. Oh, I was timing my heals. So you notice my damage per second here. I'm taking 42 now, 43. That is too high, right? that was a math numbers thing, right? I did a pretty good job on rotating my cooldowns, but at a certain point, I ran out of cooldowns, right? And the healers just couldn't keep up on healing me and other people. So this was a white, and we reset. And this is a hard pull. And you know, Lord of Lores. Thank you. Sorry, Lord of Lores. I'm saying the name wrong. He warned us that this pull was really hard, and we knew it was. We tried it once ourselves on tier 3, but it was challenging on tier 2. It's just the reason why it gets harder on higher tiers is not only do new mechanics get added in, you also have your stats are not as strong because, of course, we were all pretty much capped for tier 3 here, but also all the adds are literally stronger, right? The bleeds are stronger, the damage is stronger, they have a better chance to hit, they have more health, right? All of that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump around here because I really don't want to turn this fight into too long. We had a little bit of an issue with it kind of glitching out. I think we just went ahead and I just grabbed him and we went again. For some reason they didn't reset. We were all like, that's weird. You know, little things like that happen sometimes. So we cleared that, and then I grabbed this next wizard, and then we grab this next group, and we do this pull. I'm gonna skip a little bit now, guys, because I'd like to get to the next 2 boss fights, and I don't really want to turn this video in. Hour and a half is kind of what I keep it at, if that. We'll see. So we run into the room, we start pulling. Again, I'm just gonna kind of skip through this and get to important parts. There's no voices, so it's literally just action scenes of us here taking stuff and battling. I forget if one of us got pulled. So the alligators here will actually pull you to them, and if you're not careful with your positioning, you can get pulled off. Did you see how close I went to going off the edge there? Yeah, scary. Now, Lord of Lores, I believe he was a yellow for us, and he switched to red in certain fights. Because he just used the yellow ability, so I think he's in yellow. Yeah, he is. So again, as you play this game, you'll start to notice certain abilities, and you'll know, oh, you could only use that ability in that tree, right? Now, in theory, you could technically use one of those abilities not in that tree if you're in the other one, but it'd be kind of weird to use your points like that. All right, so I pull the next group because they spawn right here. So there's kind of like magical spots they spawn in this fight. I'm going to go ahead and skip a little bit more. All right, let's keep skipping. These pulls, you had to be careful. You had to be very careful. You had to have debuffs. You had to have a yellow LM or a Berg or something. But yellow LM is really good with lots of adds. Bergs are too. But all right, so we come into the next room here. Now there's a bunch of ad pulls, so we kind of get ready. Lord of Lores is giving us talks and talking us through things and stuff like that. So we kind of he was in charge of this run. Usually Daniel leads our Pioneers group, but since they helped us, he was in charge of guiding us through and stuff like that. But again, so we're going to skip the just standing here because you can't hear what they're saying. So I'm going to pull. So unfortunately, this was a wipe, and I will show you how dangerous a pull like this can be. Okay, so I was told to bring them in. Oh, excuse me. We tried a, there's a way you can get to this end and reset everything if you die. That's what we did. This was a little thing you could do. Excuse me. I'm like, why do we die? So basically, we pulled all the adds to this spot, and then we all die in this corner with, and one revive. And then Jay basically does... He's on last stand, so he's invincible for the group of seconds here. Okay. And then I think what we did is... try to remember what happened here. Let's skip, see what happens. There's some... oh, I think the ads don't respawn for a little while. So they were going to run back and then revive everyone. So that's what we did. Some little trick. Kind of irrelevant for the video here, but that was what's going on. So we talk a lot because this fight is quite challenging. There are 3 stages to this fight, and I'm just going to talk as we do the stages. So let's skip to the part where we start. Skip. All right, so they're going to start. So I'm taking all the ads. Jay is taking the main boss. So I immediately grab all the ads, and I remember that didn't go so well, did it? So Now, if you notice, I popped up immediately with the revive and the death. I don't know what's going on recently, but I freeze so hard right before I die. And when I come back up, the freeze timer is just awful. I don't know what that is recently, but that was a wipe. So it's a hard fight. You really have to get it balanced perfectly when you start. You know, and I really appreciate it. Jay and Lordoflores were very kind. They said, Zollin, you're really good at tanking. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know, they're pumping up the streamer. Just kidding. But they were very nice. And they really were saying how the whole team was awesome. Right? And you know, Glain and Shylah had to go do some stuff, so they're not really playing with us very much anymore, but you guys are awesome too. And so is Galad did a great job, and Daniel did a great job. And that was our team. And then who was our other person? And Rick. Rick was in the DBS group. So they were saying how you guys are really good at this. And we're like, oh, thanks. So anyway, let's see. So we had to clear some ads. We get ready for the next try. Right, so again, I'm supposed to pull the... He is going to take Salix and Bellador to the corner. That's what the J is planning on doing, our captain right there. And I'm pulling all the other ads. And then our goal is to kill all the ads while he holds those two. And then you have to bring Bellador over, deal with him, and then you have to kill... then you kill Salix once I hold Bellador. It's a little bit tricky. And then I'm having to make sure I'm interrupting... And you have to get control on all these ads so quick. So what really you had to do with the Guardian here is you have to start with Juggernaut, which is not a terrible idea if you have this many ads and you can just get, like you saw previously, obliterated in the first 3 seconds, right? And you can see I'm already taking a lot of damage. I'm trying to beat Interrupt Rejuvenation, and I have to hold aggro on 4 or 5 of these, all 5 of these characters. And you can see Kamos, Marion, Talkenza, Harakap, and Lasana, the archer back there. So I'm also holding aggro on all of them. Now, they do eat your power, one of their abilities. As you can notice, they're shredding my gear, my stuff. So now, right now, I'm a little high on damage per second, but this fight is just like that. You're going to take tons of damage no matter what, no matter how good you do with things. So I'm trying really hard to do my interrupts, keep my stacks up, and to perfectly balance my... I should get that out of the way so you can see my abilities. And to make sure I'm doing my combos here right and keeping aggro on everything, because I really got to keep aggro on everything. But I'm just holding. You notice I've already gone through all my cooldowns except for Guardian's Pledge and Endurance of Stone, which Endurance of Stone is just a fantastic tanking ability. It's my favorite Rachel tanking ability. It's just so strong. But I always hang on to that for emergencies. Now I just got all my power sucked away, so I believe I ran out of power pots. So I'm like, who knew? I was given power by Lordoflores, so I appreciate that. He gave me some power back. Lore Master ability. And then the reason, by the way, that my Shield Smash is gone, just so you know, is because the Shield Smash causes a mass stun. And whenever you mass stun people, they all get a 10-second stun immunity, which means they can't be interrupted by stuns or mezzes then. That is why you take it off, because really we're all individually stunning these characters. Now, keep in mind, that's probably why recently they took the stun off the Guardian at 160 off Shield Smash. Now, I disagree on how they did it. I think what they should have done is they should have put a point in the tree that allowed you to turn it off and on. They got rid of disorientation in the Guardian tree, which was a thing whenever you crit with your shield. It would put a debuff on the enemy, 7.5% less crit damage. It's kind of irrelevant and silly. I mean, it helped, but it really didn't help that much. What they should have done is remove that trait point and instead put the trait point of, if you trait this, your Shield Smash will stun. Or if you don't, your Shield Smash won't stun, it'll just be an interrupt. That's what they should have done. And I'm going to stick to my guns on that. I think I'm correct on that. So, you know, one thing I'm good at is I do know about my Guardian. So, but that is why we take it off for this fight back then, because you do not want to mass stun things. And that's probably what their argument was on the idea of just removing it in general. But I think they took the easy way out. Let's just remove it off the thing and not doing the work, basically. And I'm not trying to be insulting to anyone in the depths. But it's kind of a core Guardian thing. It's been that way for 10 plus years, I think, maybe more. It's kind of rough to take away that stun, just totally. When a lot of people solo with that stun, it's really good in a lot of 6-mans and 3-mans. It's really rough to lose that. It felt like a really hard nerf, even though, yes, it helps people now. They can use it during raids in the situation where I took it off my bar, shield smash, but it would have been a much better idea to put a point in the tree and let people turn it off and on. I really think that would have been a better point. And it would have sold them more trait trees, because more Guardians would have been like, I'll just buy another trait tree so I could just click switch to turn off that stun and off. You see? I'm thinking for you, the devs, dude. I'm thinking how to make money for them, right? Yeah. All right, so now I tick Bellinor. They go for Salix. Now they have a burst phase they have to beat Salix with here, and I'm not taking Salix. I do tank him in other streams I did on tier 2, but Jade was taking him. The reason why is that the Guardian has a lot of abilities that helps you not to get hit. And with all these ad bosses that attack you, you really need to be able to just turn those on early and stuff. So basically, I'm just taking this boy, and they're doing that. And they have to do a certain burn phase where he gets to a certain spot and he will trigger to a health, and then they have to do all their damage and blow him up within a few seconds, or he will start healing from any dots or damage. Now, we did some tests on it. Realistically, if we could... you see, I have to interrupt this guy and make sure. Bellandor actually hits really hard. Really cool character, by the way. Spoilers, he's actually a good guy again later. He just made some wrong choices. But anyway, yeah, Salix over there that they're fighting, you have to burst him. And we were trying to see if you don't have any dots on him, you wait. If that 20-second thing goes away and he won't heal. But it's just too hard to do. So we decided, like what most people did, is just make it a DPS race. So that's what it was. Basically, you have a window, you can blow them up with that last 20 million, blah, 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 you know. I go ahead and use my warriors hard here because I'm taking a lot of damage. Bellandor is not a pushover. He hits hard. You can see, though, my damage is much more average here right now. I'm taking between, like, 21, 22. And I've taken a total of almost 8 million damage, which is kind of crazy at 150 here already, so. It's a long fight. So we're going to go ahead and skip some more. So they're struggling. I think they had to redo it once. I don't remember if we finish it here or not. Did they get it? Are we get it on our second try? Oh no, yeah, Salix got some kills on people, and I tried to come over and help, but it was just a wipe and reset. So unfortunately, we have to do the whole thing a third time. Now I'm going to skip through, okay? Because we're not going to sit here for the third time. So we have a little bit of a break. We talk about some stuff, and then we go again. And I have to keep the mental fortitude up again. All of us. DPS, healers, supports, tanks. That is the hardest part, I think, about the depths raid. It just felt like fights were a long time. And that's why you really like, it's a lot of things always feel like a DPS race, but it's challenging. It's really challenging. I'm really curious, because I've played a little bit of WoW, and I've played a little bit of other things. I'm curious, like, it seems like to me that WoW, like, it plays slower, almost. And I don't know if that is the case or not, but just with animations and stuff, I feel like things can go, like, bad and south in, like, literally seconds in LOTRO. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, bad thing, or harder or easier, depending on the stuff. Same thing with, like, Final Fantasy. It seems more like a, you know, this battle and hit down. I'm sure that it's easy to get wiped and killed in a few seconds in both those games as well. But LOTRO is, it's not necessarily easy if you're doing high tier stuff. This is challenging stuff. You know, you really only get like a couple % of the community that actually like clears it. You know what I mean? And like gets through it. And I really don't think that should be like your badge of honor. That like, oh, I cleared the highest tier stuff. Sure, you can be like, cool, I did it, you know, and have that. But you know, as long as you're not rubbing it into other people, like I don't feel like the majority of people should have to feel like they have to have self-worth by completing it, right? And most people in LOTRO are awesome, and most people that raid are very nice. I'm sure you get those few here and there, but like, example, Descendants of the Tree, really awesome. And, you know, they've cleared great people. And like, Zero Cool, who's not playing with us here today, but he came from a group that he had cleared this on tier 5, tier 4 and 5. He's the only person, I think, in Voice of the Rings now. He was originally in his other main kinship, but he asked to join us, which was a very big honor. We appreciate it that he wanted to join us for reasons with their kinship. A lot of them were taking breaks and stuff for family and life things. So, won't go more into that. But yeah, so anyway, it's great to have him with us. He's really fun to play with. And you know, hopefully, maybe we will be able to do really, really high tier things. But again, our kinship, our goal is that everyone's having fun too. We want to push ourselves, and that's why we have multiple different groups in our kinship, because we want to push ourselves, but at the same time, we don't want to make everything about rating, right? Like, we don't want everything to be rating. We want to be a chunk for those people who want to try to do high tier stuff. We want to try it. I know I want to try it. I want to push myself and see how hard I can go. But I feel like people should know their limits, right? And I know some people in our group that are like, I just don't want to do high tier stuff, and that's totally fine. I don't ever feel like you have to, right? It really shouldn't be. LOTRO should be fun first. The exploring of the world, the adventure, that's the fun part. I love it that there is an end game in LOTRO though, and that you can push yourself to this high tier stuff. And you know, and I've been learning a lot over the last, you know, year and a half with rating. Again, even more than when I was, you know, I think it's harder now because it's more refined the way the devs do stuff. I think it's harder now than it was back at 50 and 60. They weren't easy though at 50 and 60. I don't want to belittle our raiders of that time, and I did a lot of raiding then. It wasn't easy. There's like maybe new challenges now there weren't before, where maybe there were other challenges then that we didn't have, blah blah blah. So let's go ahead and go through here and skip a little bit. We're at the part with the Belraandor. So we actually did do it here. So they actually finish off Salix. Oh, actually, excuse me. They were finishing off Belraandor. They already got Salix. So there's the burst phase. I look at them for a second. Watch the health bar up there. I literally check because I'm curious how they're doing. So I check with a tab. I tab to Salix for a second. So there they go. That's the burst phase. They're trying to kill him from full health, basically, before that 25-second window, 20-second window, or whatever it is. Actually, is it a minute? I don't remember what time I have. You can go back and watch my series on my streams if you want to know. But they do succeed, and they get him down. And then Belraandor is like, no. Right, so Salix is on his feet. And now they all get revived, basically, by evil. That, by the way, was Call to Greatness, original, but it reset all our core abilities, which is really cool. So Azagoth betrays Belraandor and turns all of his mariners, his sailors, and soldiers into spirits, basically evil spirits. Which, of course, Belraandor still fights us, but this is one of the reasons why he gets angry. Now, this fight is really hard. There is a mass thing he puts on everyone that instantly has to be cleansed by the captains and the burglars and those who had it. Unfortunately, Jay goes down, so I take everyone's aggro, and me and Jay in this part of the fight are supposed to flip between it. Flip. So Jay comes back up, and then he's going to take everything when my cooldowns are up. So we're timing things right now. I have 100% block chance for another like 5 seconds. So Jay is going to take aggro from me in a second, and then I'll just take one back. Unfortunately, he just got hit again, so I use Warrior's Heart to try to buy some time. And then I turn on my Thrill of Danger, which gives me heals every time I hit. But we are in a rough spot here. So I don't remember if we win this or not. This is kind of actually like... So right now I'm taking a beating in damage output on me. Unfortunately, my thing changed the damage. I don't know why that happened. But, so Jay goes down again. I am struggling. I turn on Endurance of Stone, which, definitely helps tremendously. If you notice, my healer was able to catch up because I'm taking 50% reduced damage from everything right now. So I am in like... So it definitely helps. But unfortunately, I don't remember if we actually were able to finish this one. Yeah, just too much damage coming out. So that one's a wipe. Unfortunately, what does that mean? We have to do the entire fight again. So that's why it's a lot. These are hard. These were hard fights. And there was some stuff that happened, and we talked about it. Jay knew. Jay's a really good tank. So sometimes just, excuse the word, crap happens, right? That's the worst word Zollin's ever going to say. But, you know, it just hits the fan and things go bad. So we do a little more talking, and we do the fight. I'm going to skip through some of this fight because you've seen it now successful the first part twice. So let's skip part of the end. So we do it again. where I'm holding that. He pulls Salix and Bellador to the corner. I'm doing these 5 NPC bosses. They're all bosses, but, you know, they're not the main bosses. So I'm interrupting. We're holding this. We get through it. 3rd time's the charm, I believe, in this fight. And then I think what we did was we actually switched. I went over to Salix, and he held Bellandor. I don't remember why we switched, but I think it was to make sure. I think he might have had to use more cooldowns, and Salix hits really hard. So we thought maybe if we put the Guardian on it. I think Jay asked to switch it, because Jay had more experience than I did, or, you know, Jay and Lord of the other groups, right? Descendants of Tree had more experience than us, so we were kind of just doing whatever they said they wanted us to do. So I think Lordoflores told me to go over here, and Jay wanted me to tank this one too. So, and then I was able to use my Break Ranks, which is a 35% damage buff, which they just nerfed to a 15% damage buff recently. Another thing that I'm not too thrilled about for the 160 expansion, but yeah, whatever. Technically, it gives the Guardian 50% damage too, but again, I think they're really trying to bring down damage buffs in general, because they also nerfed it to the Brawler. So we succeeded on taking out Salix. There's the other perspective for you. And then I go over here, and then we're going to do the same thing. Me and Jay are going to try to trade off where we take all the ghosts in the main boss, and we're trying to burn down Bellandor. The moment Bellandor is killed, the ghosts all disappear. So the goal is they have to burn down 61 million health. So immediately we start. I turn on my thing. I turn on my Force Taunt. Take it from Jay. Jay can get ready with his cooldowns. So we have 15 seconds of my invulnerability. All right. And the goal is for us to just hold aggro on everything. And Jay will occasionally take the main guy off me, and I'm going to hold all the ghosts to the best of my ability. All right. Turn Guardian's Pledge on. Warrior's Heart, because I was taking a ton of damage right there. My TPS right now is only 15, though, so it's pretty good. But that will go up. That's only because I've been dodging and blocking every ability. The moment I start getting hit more, that'll go up real quick. So Jay is starting to take some decent damage. I believe Jay has Do Not Fall on, so he can... He also has a lot of self-heals. Captains have a ton of self-heals. Guardians do too, but Captains can self-heal and heal their team. So I pull stuff for a second for Jay. Unfortunately, if you notice, they all took a ton of damage on the other side. I turn on... We used Fellowship's Guardian's Pledge, which gave me back my Juggernaut, which is kind of a bummer to lose, but now the new set will help our cooldown on Juggernaut. So we lost one person, went down. So there's always an AoE that he roars, boom, and it hits everybody with this bleed and this roar. It's such a hard fight. It's so hard. So I got my catch of breath off. You see how little health I had? Oh my gosh. I just remember being like so focused in this fight. This is so much work. I'm so glad I don't have to talk and do this fight at the same time right now. All right, so Jay goes down right here. So I pull aggro on everything. So I put my less damage on that guy, which I probably should have put it on Bellandor, but, you know, my brain is, like, working on overtime right now. That catch of breath, I had, like, 20,000 health, and I put it back up, and then the healer got their thing off. I mean, it's real close right now. Ooh. But Jay is back up, so I think... Was Jay able to... I don't think Jay had his Force Taunt yet. Wow, I forgot we died again. Dang. Okay, so I believe we do go one more time. And we're going to jump all the way to the end if we do. All right, we're going to jump to the end. So I'm fighting Salix again. Then this is our burst phase. We did all our damage buffs. You can see we're going from 32 million to 0. Up there in the top left. Look at that. Look at that crazy amount of damage everyone did. That is some impressiveness. Well, not 0. We get them down to like 10%. All right, so then we do our big fight here again. And I think this is where me and Jay, everything's perfect. Healers, the cleanses were good. See that cleanse? Everyone has to, both 6-mans have to get that off. So we basically start doing our switch here. Bellandor is at 12 mil. We're doing a really good job with our heals and our switch offs. I have no cooldowns now except for my Dwarven Endurance, which I was holding in case something went wrong. But this, if you notice, we just did a really good job in this one. No one made any mistakes. There was no lag spikes. And that just, you know, that's how it goes sometimes when it's this close and this hard, right? And then basically we don't actually have to kill Belwynne. It's just getting really low, I believe. Alright. So there it is. Boss 2 beat on tier 3. Whew, super hard, right? So
I will return to the city and face my penance.
alright, so we get some loot.
Take what treasure you will from the temple. But leave me.
I got a cool bracelet. It's not as good as the 2 I had. Unfortunately, just how it works. It was kind of weird how that worked with gear. Because we were at the end, you could already get really good gear from instances and like delvings and stuff too. But we were trying to get the gold gear. So we got a couple other things. We're not going to waste too much time here with this because basically we had to break this up. So we had been playing for almost 2.5 hours at this point. And people somewhere, you know, it's a lot of brain power, you know, and it was late for some people. So this is as much as we played. And then we talked a little bit about it, and then we got to the end. And that was it for that one. And then if I bring up part 2 here, we'll finish up with the last boss, which is the challenging boss, the most challenging boss. So this is the next day, okay? So I think we were all the same people. No, excuse me. We had one other person here with us now. The Runekeeper Lothrywin was here. And Glain, and Lothrywin took over Havoc's healing spot, I believe. So we now have a healing Runekeeper, and we have a champion down there too, and then a bear. You can see all the different people right there who are in the group. Do we have everybody still? Yeah. So our main pioneer group, the few of us that were there, the 6 of us are all in the group still. So they had to switch out a few people. So Descendants of the Tree did pick up, and there you could see that. Catfish is now in Descendants of the Tree. I don't know why he wasn't the day before, but now he is. I'm not sure. But so anyway, Lordoflores is walking us through stuff, and we start talking about stuff and planning, and he did a very good job with his leadership and walking us through things. And it was very much like a and I say this totally as a compliment, very military style. The way he explained things and talked things out. And I believe he actually does work for the U.S. military. So it might not be military, it might be Marine. I don't remember which branch, but he works in one of them. Yeah, but I liked it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I have people in my family from the military too, so. But yeah, he did a really good job explaining things, and we talked about stuff. And his big thing was, like we talk about in our events when we're really focusing on rating, is trying to keep the chatter down in the chat and keep the voices to a minimum and stuff like that. So, yeah, so pretty much, again, big thanks to Daniel. He helped plan this with him too, as well. So it was a lot of fun. I was messaging Shylah. I'm like, buff motivation. She was still getting ready. She was AFK, I think is why I didn't realize. But she gives me motivation. And then there it is right there. She did it. See. Yeah, this was a really fun fight. This is quite a challenge. This was a very big challenge, this fight. So we're talking about things. Basically, I had done this many times on tier 2, but you know, and I told them I could come on a different character because normally I was healing on my Runekeeper for our runs. So we would have a couple other people tanking. But Lordoflores and Jay really wanted me to be tanking, which, I mean, I guess, you know, they're like, you're a good tank. We want you to tank it. I'm like, okay. You know, I've never tanked tier 3 since the day. Like, this was the first day I was doing it, right? And it has a couple harder mechanics, and it's much more challenging. But my team had confidence in me, and they did as well. And I was like, all right, well, if they do, I better have confidence in myself. So we went for it. Yeah, it was. It's long. This is an hour and 46. We're not going to watch this entire video. We're going to jump around, but I'm going to explain some stuff as we go. Okay. So the first thing that's challenging is when we come out, I run over here and immediately have to grab these first 2 tentacles. If I can remember correctly, this big guy, the sturdy tentacle, is very dangerous. He can throw stuff, but the slapping one will just like one-shot people. So I have to grab these 2 while they're on the other side, and it just. I have a feeling I fell in the water once too. And I'm trying to remember, this crocodile has a pole. I'm trying to remember, I was like, oh, I got a crocodile on me, which actually hits very hard. So my goal is right now is just to survive, basically, while I hold the aggro of these things. And then I need to go over and grab that other tentacle. So now that they're near the slapper, I can move and get both of the sturdy tentacles under my control until before the head comes up. And this stupid alligator is still following me around. I remember this was so annoying. I was like, this stupid alligator. And then it tries to pull me. And of course I dodged it, thank goodness. So I'm just making sure I have, control on everything. And I remember my nerves were a little up, right? Like, I felt confident, but I was like, breathe. Remember to breathe, Gimli style. So he does a scream. It's okay if it hits me, but I cannot let that hit my friends, and I have to remove the corruption on him over and over. Which now I would have to be using Stagger, but it's Sting. So you'll see me use Sting a lot. Though I think leaving Sting is like a free animation. So basically at this point, they have to deal with a bunch of ads that spawn at the door. And now they're going to move over and get the first tentacle. There's a tentacle back there grabbing a ship. There are 6 tentacles that you have to defeat. You have to open a fellowship maneuver on every single tentacle to destroy them at the end. And with the boss, once you get down to the very, very end, there are 4 different phases you have to do a fellowship maneuver. Now, they removed the fellowship maneuver off the Guardian at 160. Right here at 150, optimalness, they have the fellowship maneuver. I have no idea why they decided to do that. People are like, well, it's not fair their tanks don't have it. Well, maybe all the tanks should get it. I don't know. That seems kind of dumb, too. I think it was a special thing the Guardian have. They should have just been left with. But for some reason, they decided to remove it. The problem is with that is now I don't think it... Zero Cool actually mentioned this. Remember, he's beat it on tier 4 and 5. He was saying, I don't know if it's even possible to do now on those high tiers if your Guardian can't open the fellowship maneuver every, I think it's like 30 seconds or something for they could do it. And I agree. I think that point is, so basically when the legendary servers get to 150, which they will in the future, they're probably going to have to redo this fight. They're probably going to have to remove fellowship maneuvers or make them less or something on the boss to make it workable. Because I don't know how they could beat it then at that point. They're going to literally be missing parts of their kit of some of their classes. Because they've also nerfed, obviously, the Call of Greatness, and they've nerfed all these other things that were kind of crucial in this fight. So, like, the Brawler's been changed, the Guardian's been changed, the Minstrel's been changed. We'll see. That'll be a future thing. But I may be like, I told you so when people get to that point. I don't know how they'd be able to do this fight without it. But it's really hard. So anyway, I'm holding both tentacles and the boss head, and I'm trying to keep it away from them while they do damage. So they're now doing damage to the tentacle, and they have to now clear the tentacles left to right, because the tentacles will keep getting stacking buffs to a point where I will just die. So you have to clear the tentacles out, but that means I have to get aggro on them every time. That is the challenge of this fight for the tank, who's on the head. The other tank is tanking ads that pop up at the door, and they're tanking the tentacles, the little ones that are on the boats. And our other tank is our other Guardian there, Ospen, who is doing it. And again, I feel like they did this on purpose to send it to the tree. They were testing me nicely. But according to all the tanks, they said the harder job is what I'm doing, the head and stuff. And I totally think that's the case, because I did the other one a little bit too. The other one is hard, because you have to get a bunch of ads correctly and stuff. But it just, the head fight feels more like stressful, and you just be constant focus. You don't have any breaks at all for the like 25-minute fight. So yeah, I definitely found. By the way, this Runekeeper healer was awesome from Virtual. I can't say their kinship name right. I'm so sorry. I've seen their kinship name for a long time. They're an awesome canon. But she was awesome. Really had a good time, and she was a really good healer, and and she was very nice. She said I did a really good job with making sure. I had to pull the ads off her at one point because some stuff happened. There's something that's crazy that happens at the end of this video when we win. Crazy. I couldn't even believe it happened. It doesn't happen to me very often. My power goes out, or my internet. I know my power goes out for like 2 minutes, and it shuts me off. And since Descendants of the Tree knew, and the other two groups that were with us, they knew how that there was a window that you could just sit and wait. And the other tank grabbed aggro and held it until I got back, and then we finished the fight. Yeah, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, you guys are amazing that they knew about that, and apparently they had done it with other members that's happened. Because the fight's really long. You don't want to redo the whole fight, right? So I run over here immediately, grab the slapping tentacle because he'll throw stuff at people. And at this point, Glain got hit by one of the other slapping tentacles, I believe, over there. So we had to do a revive. We were trying to figure out what happened with that, actually. We were confused. I remember Glain was like, I don't really know what hit me. I think one of the slapping just threw a rock. They have a range if you're not next to them. So, basically at this point, we switch, and then I'm going to go to the other side. They have to kill the little slapping tentacles first right now. I get aggro on this one. Again, very, very long fight, right? And then we start doing the boss fight. Okay. So I'm holding the two main sturdies. They're finishing off ads that spawn to the door that every time. Then they have to go up there. You see in the back there is a tentacle crushing that boat. They have to go get that tentacle. While I hold everything else here, and with the healer Runekeeper, who again is doing a great job. I'm sorry I'm not using everyone's names, but I just don't want to like say a name wrong. You can see them all with floating names on in their thing. So I want them all to have credit that they helped us out, and it was very nice here in a video. So they were all really good players. Let's just put it that way. They're really good players. Let's go ahead and jump a little bit here though. So Scream, we're gonna go a little farther. So they are now. We are doing some damage on the boss, one of the damage phases on the boss, and then once he sinks, we clear the tentacles right to left. He does a big AoE thing, blah blah blah. Now we're clearing the tentacles. Actually, he doesn't sink, but we're clearing the tentacles both sides, and I'm waiting to pick up this next tentacle that's going to spawn here on the left. It spawns, I pick it up, then I'm going to have to go spawn to hit the other one, and I'm going to have to switch carefully with the healer, get the roar to go that way. And then I pick up this tentacle as fast as I can, which had a little bit of delay there with my ability, but that's why I was standing in the middle. I was waiting to grab that one. And I got to remove the corruption off the boss. There we go, remove the corruption. And I'm constantly keeping up all of my stacks and my AoEs and trying to keep building aggro. All right, let's jump a little bit. So they kill a boat, and then we're going to get an ad spawn. They're all toward my left, killing all the ads where the bright light is. You can see the lightning bolts from Lordoflores doing lightning bolts. So I have a couple of the ads that get on me because it's kind of hard not to because my Bastion of Light and War Chant are so large. Which, again, might be a bonus that they made the War Chant smaller. I have noticed that it's a little easier not to grab ads I don't want, but it's also a pain when the room is really big and I can't grab ads. So I think it's a net loss, but there's a little silver lining, I guess. So then we're doing this, and the boss is starting to get pretty... The arms are getting a lot of stacks. So we cleared the arms. They're going to go do the next boat. You see how long this fight is? This is the 5th boat or 6th boat. We're getting close. I think there's one more boat. Okay, we do a little bit of burn phase. I think we did all the boats, actually. So... Okay, I turned the sound off because I had to focus. So I turned all the sound effects off. Because I was just feeling like I couldn't focus. It was just too much. So now we're in the burn phase where I have to open fellowship maneuvers soon, and we have to do it quick. So I'm wondering if we lost a boat by mistake. I'm trying to remember. I think we're about... Yeah, we might have... if you hit the tentacles early and lose the boat before you can burn the tentacle down, crushing the boat, then you don't do that damage to the boss. It can literally like wipe the... We would have reset, though, I think, if we did that. So I think that's not what happened. So now we're in a DPS race, basically. We're fighting it. We're fighting it. I'm jumping. Every time you see a jump, it's 30 seconds. I just want to point that out. Every time I'm jumping the screen. All right, so we're kind of in the DPS area here. And if we leave this ring, if anyone leaves this ring, he'll do a rage hit and just kill the person. So no one can leave this ring. And he will enrage at a certain point and just start doing too much damage. So now we're at the point where he goes under. New tentacles pop up, and I kind of should have been there sooner. Where I was, I kind of went to the wrong side. Hopefully no one died. No one died. That's good. Oh, nope. My healer died. Yeah. Now, that could have been this guy that threw it, or that could have been the other guy. You know, Tank didn't get the other one either, but either way, probably was mine there. They were closer, so I think I didn't get it. But we had it in combat revive. And I remember being like, oh, my bad. Again, it's just so much. I've already been fighting for like 35 minutes or 20 something minutes straight. Your brain really gets tired. So I switch to the other side. I have to stand at this tentacle when this phase comes up. This is the hardest phase. Bunch of ads spawn. I have to stand at this tentacle. I have to grab the boss while I'm holding the other two, the 4 tentacles, right? And then someone else has to stand to this one after they kill the ads. Then I switch to the boss and flip him. But it's really hard to not totally wipe here. And I use emergencies here. And unfortunately a crocodile shows up. And I have aggro on everything. I have my emergencies. I use them. I cannot leave this thing. Threatening throw, it means he's enraged, I believe. So he's doing threatening throw at me right now, which is really bad. The boss is enraged. To get out of that, you have to get near him. So basically, I have to get near him. So I run over here, and I need to grab this other tentacle. So I grab the other tentacle. I tell my healer to watch out. This stupid alligator is being a pain in the boo-ha. So now we're in a good spot again now, but unfortunately I'm getting hit by these enraged rocks, which I can take. I'm looking at her and look at it. I can't look at it. It's a video. I'm trying to look at the ability. Yeah, so, and then basically there's another spawn of ads. I'm still holding the tentacles. There's so many phases. There's the biggest phases are the 75 and then this 25% phase with these ad drop and how you have to do with everything. Now, unfortunately, I'm doing my best. I did catch a breath. You see my health go up and down right there. Oh, my gosh. I have 2 alligators on me, which is terrifying because they could pull me into the water if I do it wrong. So I'm trying to position where they can't pull me into the water. They do a lot of damage, too. Alligators are no joke. I'm at the point where, unfortunately, I go down, but so many people are already down anyway. It was a reset, which is like, after 30 minutes of fighting straight, it's so demoralizing, right? So now we are not going to watch the entire fight again because I want to get close to the dead of this video. So we're going to jump, all right? We take a little break, we rebuff, we talk about things. We do the same thing again. It's all about the positioning. It's all about the different rotations of the 6 different boats, going to their side, fight the boss after one of the boat hits, do some damage, flip, clear all the tentacles. I retake all the tentacles aggro. They do the next group of ads that pop out. They do a boat, blah, blah, blah. There's a 25 phase with the ads, and then there's that 75 damage phase where there's a ton of ads, and the tentacles all pop up at once. And they have to kill the ads. I have to hold both of the sturdies and the boss, and I have to stand in that one spot on the other side and hold the slapping until someone can come and replace me as support, and then I flip the boss the other way while they clear the ads. It's the killer spot. It's the killer spot of the play, the 75%. And then if you do it wrong at the very end. So we're going to jump to the very end. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, 5 minutes, 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in. Okay, so we're almost back to the same spot here. We're about to do the hard phase. So we can wait. So we kind of wait to build up, so I can build up aggro on the sturdies and stuff before we trigger the next phase. You can do that. So here we go. We hold all the things. This is the spot, the 75 phase. I have to pull this ad. I'm holding the aggro on the other 3 up there while they're dealing with a bunch of ads that come out. Of course, the crocodiles are getting on me again, which is just a bummer. My healer goes down. I was like, oh no, too many ads gone on her. I'm not sure. Now, that was, not to point fingers or anything, but that wasn't me. That wasn't my fault. I'm not supposed to be getting those ads that were going on the healer. Something happened with the timing there. And the other tank was awesome, by the way. He was doing a great job. So again, I'm not just trying to be like, it's shit's fault. That's not what I'm saying. I did the other thing wrong and the healer got killed in the other part. It's so hard because even if there's a lag spike and the tanks aren't doing anything wrong and you don't quite perfectly get your timed roars or something, the healers can die so fast to the tentacle slaps or to the ads. It's really rough. It's really hard. So you can see things are kind of going a little haywire, but we're doing it. We got our healer back up. The other tank is doing a great job. The other tank's job, which I have done, is he has to kite those things around. And unfortunately, because our other healer, Glain, just got revived. I think I wasn't watching. Yeah, so unfortunately, it's just too much damage. The ads are hard. So that whatever tank is tanking the other ads has to run around with them, kind of kite them. Well, the other team finishes off one of the tentacles in the corner, and then they can finish off the ads and then go back to the boss. So that was try number 2. So we are going to do one more attempt here. Hopefully 3rd time's the charm. So we start at the beginning here. Same thing, 100%. all over again. You can imagine at this point my brain is frioled. But I kept it together. We all did. Everyone kept it together. It's very impressive. This is a slog. Okay, guys, this was a slog. Let's just put it that way. And remember, again, my first time ever tanking tier 3 and doing the head. So this was my first time. First and pretty much last. No, we did try it again later, but I tanked it a bunch on tier 2. But I also did the other pull with the ads on tier 2 a few times, and Jay would tank the head a lot, or Kren, and we would switch sometimes. Yeah, everybody's doing a great job. Then no matter what, no matter how good of a player you are, you need to realize you always can learn and you can always make mistakes. Like, things can always go awry. So if someone makes a mistake, people shouldn't feel bad about it. That's life. That's part of the game, right? I feel like some people, they'll make a mistake and they feel so bad in a run or something. It's like, we get it. I understand why you're like getting on yourself, but don't get too worried about it. By the way, you see that old ability up there? That's disorientation. Was kind of useless, but it was the one that made them not crit as hard, which honestly probably was helpful in this run because the crits could kill you. So 7.5% less damage wasn't bad. But yeah, anyway, what I'm saying is you shouldn't feel too bad about it. We're going to jump a little farther where the head pops up. Okay. All right. So this is the spot where I'm like, what's happening? Okay. So this is the so again, I guess my power didn't go out, my internet went out because I wouldn't have been able to record if my power went out. So I'm getting ready to pull this, and then I'm like, why is nobody move? What is happening? Where's the head? Dun dun dun! And then the realization set in, and I'm like, oh my goodness, my internet went out. Right? I was like, no way. Right? I was like, I can't even believe it. I'm like, no way. This is our third pull and we were doing so good. I was like, this can't be, right? I was so bummed. Let me jump 30 seconds, okay? And then, of course, the dreaded, thinking maybe the internet will just pop back on and I'll be able to keep going. The dreaded connection to the server has been lost. I was quite distraught for a moment. I was like, no! Like, literally, I think I said that out loud. I was like, no, because I felt so bad because I feel like I'm letting everyone down. Like I was just explaining, right? This is out of my control. I couldn't do anything about this, right? But for everybody else, you feel like you're letting everyone else down. But you shouldn't feel like that. You know what I mean? You really shouldn't feel like that. But so I'm going to jump a little bit here. So I get to my main screen here. Let me go ahead and make sure that one sec. All right, so I log back in, thinking there's no way, right? Like, that was a wipe. We're going to have to redo it all over again because my internet went out. I was so bummed. So bummed about it. I even reset my Discord and all this stuff because it just disconnected me, right? But my OBS was still recording. Nice thing it was recording and not a, stream. Of course, it would have just gone straight into continuing to stream it, right? So I log back in. Here's me loading back in. This is what I see, right? I immediately take aggro on the boss. I was just like, I couldn't even believe it. Because I joined the Discord right before I got in. He's like, don't worry, Zollin. You just log back in. We've got a spot. When you get in, just take aggro on the head. That's what I learned. And so they held it there because he knew a trick that if the other tank just stood there and held it, the enrage timer wouldn't start. And they could just wait it out for me to log back in. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh. So then I'm trying to get my head back in, right? Because I'm already stressed out. The internet went on. I'm like, okay, focus. We're going to do the hard part, right? So we start working on doing this hard part. The veil scream, right? Okay. All right. Goes off. So, and I'm trying to remember, we're not actually at the hardest part yet with the ad drop. So we start prepping for the ads because the enrage timer starts at 25%. We're not there yet. So we're clearing the ads before that part. And that's when he's at 25% health or 75% damage taken is when the hardest part of the pull. All right. So let's get to that point. So they're making sure to get all the, let me get aggro on the tentacles. They're going to clear the tentacles left to right. They kill every single tentacle because we want every single debuff removed of all the tentacles because the the last part is the burning of the boss, where you have to do a fellowship maneuver every little few percent, or there's like a shield that gets turned off and then turns on. You have to wait, do a fellowship maneuver, the shield gets turned off. And you have to do it right after the scream, or it could mess. If you try to FM during the scream, it won't work and it'll break it. Oh my gosh, there's so many things can go wrong. It's just absolutely craziness. So we go around this way, right? And then I'm just like, so basically what we're going to do is, here comes the scary point. They're going to wait for me to get aggro on this sturdy tentacle that pops up in a second on the left. That's the left side of the head. And then that one, we're going to wait. So at the very end here, they're going to wait. They're going to slow damage. They want me to get aggro on this one. Okay? And they want me to get aggro on the other one that's going to pop back up. Then, once I have aggro on both of those, they're going to kill that one, and the head's going to pop up, and all those adds right here behind us are going to spawn that they have to deal with in the other tank, right? So I need to be ready. So I build up aggro on this one. I go over here. Ding, 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 ding. I get ready with my little bastion to get aggro on the one that's going to spawn right here in front of me in the water. Boom. Okay, I get aggro on this one. Okay, they're like, get aggro, Zollin. I'm like, okay. So I get aggro. And then I move back. Once I know I have some pretty good aggro build on him, I go over here, and I get ready to grab the head because they're on that side. But remember, I have to stand here. So I stand in the spot. They kill it. I have to get aggro on this one quick before it kills my healers. And then I get aggro on the boss head, which I think I already had because I put my bastion down. So it worked out. I did. So I did it. So I had the aggro on the 2 30s. I had this one and that one. They're dealing with the massive group of adds. Things are looking pretty good. No one's dying. The other tank is doing a perfect job. Nothing's on the healers. Now he's going to come and take my spot. I flip the head so that it doesn't scream at everybody while I'm holding aggro of both sturdy tentacles. So see, the scream is now this way. Okay? I don't care if it hits me, even though I can technically dodge it, which I do. So now they're dealing with that other little slapping tentacle. Well, the 2 sturdies are aggroed on me. And now I'm making sure to get good aggro on the sturdy, by the way. That's why I'm kind of like hitting it a little bit. And now at this point, when they kill that one, it turns into the burn phase. No more adds. We're just going to burn this thing down. And hopefully not have to kill the sturdy tentacles. I don't remember if they have to do, except, yeah, there's a few more adds I guess they have to kill. I don't remember that part, but I'm feeling stressed just watching. But hopefully you guys are kind of understanding the fight and why it's so hard. And the one healer is dedicated to help me and then help when they can the other group. The other healer follows around the main group as they do tentacles and adds and clear, and they go back and forth clearing the tentacles. This is a really cool raid. It was a really cool raid and a really cool fight. It felt a little overly crazy mechanically. But I mean, all things considered, it was really cool. It's really challenging and really cool. I'm curious how hard. So this is where we do fellowship maneuvers. Okay, that breaks the hide, and now now it's a DPS phase. So I make sure that I use break ranks. Did I use it? Oh no, I'm saving break ranks because it's a long cooldown. We're saving it, I believe, for the last one, from what I remember. Okay, I say watch out, he's roaring. Okay, now we switch because I had to kill the one ad. So we have to clear the ads once, I think, first is what we were doing here. Now, if you notice, the main, and I make sure I hold aggro on the other one, the main ability is that little shield on his health bar there. That's the one we have to break. It's called Tough Hide or something. And basically it takes 99% reduced damage unless you fellowship maneuver him. So we're getting rid of both the ads, and now I go ahead and take the tentacle. And this is the part where basically I'm just holding aggro. And they are going to, we open a fellowship maneuver, and this is where the rage timer starts. We have to do really, really good damage. Now, I probably could have done the yellow there too, but I think I'm just too focused on holding aggro. I don't want to make a mistake. Realistically, I probably should have clicked the yellow too, but... Okay, so I grab the other tentacle. That's what I was worried about. I really didn't want that. If that starts hitting the group, we'll just die. It AoEs, the sturdies. So I cannot let them hit the group. I have to be separate. And the other tank could back me up and take over if needed. But right now we're in the burning phases. So right now we're waiting because there's a cooldown. And you see that little shield flashing. It's like a red shield. There's a cooldown right now on I do a little forced taunt roar. Make sure I have the other tentacle. Okay, this is where we do the next one. Yeah, here we go. Oh, I must not have clicked it. Huh. Oh, you know what? We were told not to click it. I remember. We're trying to get it to a certain threshold before it rages. So you don't want to do too much damage. So I think they told we purposely were like only two. I remember that now. I think off the top of my head, that's what was happening. I was purposely not supposed to click those yellows. I remember now. It's funny how the muscle memory kicks back in after you did it so many so much in that moment. You think about it, like, oh yeah. Okay, so basically we're getting to the end here. No spoilers. But yeah, this turns into we're getting close. So it gets another roar. So I think we're gonna do an FM here soon because his immunity is almost gone, which I think is the red dot. There it is. Oh no, it's the shield. Okay, so now this is a burn phase. Everybody do yellow. They could. I think the healer can't, but he needs to heal. Or she. We had both in our group. So I dodged the roar, so I'm just keeping aggro on everything else. So now we're getting there where he's starting to get a little scary. The enrage timer is going up a little bit here. I need to stay in the circle. I don't know why it's backed up at all there. Okay, so I think they decided to kill a sturdy here. Because they're getting too strong. Because I was like, I'm starting to take a lot of damage, guys. From hits. And the sturdies were starting to do too much damage. So I'm pretty sure we cleared a sturdy out. Let me jump 30 seconds here. We killed that one. So I'm going to take aggro on this one that pops up. So I grab this one. Because they always respawn. Basically, you just kill them to remove their buffs that are making them really strong. Okay, deep screams. So I think I'm going to open it. I forget if they have me open an FM. I think I did. So this is where the enrage timer starts happening at like 15% or something. So this is where we have like the burn phases. So this is a burn phase. We're doing as much damage as possible right now. So you're going to see us now. I think his hide went back up though. So that was the end of the burn phase. So we're going to do another 2. So we're now at the point where things are serious. It's make or break. We have to do enough damage in the next 2. I believe that I prepped for a Fellowship Maneuver as a backup, even though I think our burglars was doing a great job. Yeah, he did a great job. So we're all doing yellow here. We get a full 6. This is as much damage as possible. I'm immediately going to do this, and I trigger break ranks. Oh, did I not trigger? Maybe I'm saving it for the very end. Oh, it's on cooldown. I did it in the previous burn. That's why I see it on my bar. It's on cooldown. Okay, that's my damage buff. So I'm just making sure I hold aggro on everything and reducing their damage from my damage reduction ability. Warchank does a damage reduction, I believe, off the top of my head. Yeah, it does. Okay, so 37 million. We're going to have to get a lot of damage done on this next one. His enrage timer is going to get real scary soon. If he enrages entirely, we just all start dying. He just randomly starts choosing targets and going slap, 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 slap. And just, it gets really, it's really hard fight. This is such a hard fight. So here's all yellow. All right, we all get yellow in, and I believe I'm going to re-trigger my break ranks right here. Do I use break ranks? Yeah, because yeah, we're good. It's break ranks. Now, break ranks is now used on Smashing Stab with the rework this last few weeks. It was always shield swipe before. I do like that. I didn't like it on shield swipe because I couldn't use the AoE taunt because it would trigger it when I didn't want it to. So I like it being on a different skill, but I don't like that they nerfed it so much. Technically, it helps the tank a little bit. So we get it to 6 million. This is really getting scary. He gets his armor buff back up. We know he's about to enrage. So we think we have one more chance. I think you have 4 times you can do it, and then by then you run out of time. So this is it. This is the last one. So we all go yellow. All right, and burn away. And I use any emergencies I have just because their stacks are so high. And there it is. The tier 3 clear. We are all like, yay! I wish I had recorded all that. Everyone was so happy. It was a great moment. Just like there's just cheering all 12 of us. So there it is, the clear of tier 3 depths. And again, I'm sorry this video didn't come out a little sooner covering this, but there it is, my friends. There it is. So yeah, so now we can go trade for all the Toon accounts who had it. We can trade for all the raid gear, so that's awesome. For any Toon too. So you could, it's not just for like the Guardian. I could go trade those things I earned for any of the gear, I believe. I believe that's, yeah, for any of the classes I needed or whatever. And then they're saying over here in the chat, wait, I gotta go back. You guys gotta see this. Our healer. Of course, it was one of the tanks that disconnected. The reason she said that, I'm assuming she, because of the character. I apologize if I'm wrong. Just, but is because their other tank, apparently the week before, not with any of the Voice of Rings members, their own run, also disconnected. Like over and over, like 2 different tanks in 2 different days. So it was like a joke. There's like, why do the tanks keep losing their internet? We don't know. And Daniel says, thank you so much to Descendants of the Tree. You guys are awesome. So much. I'm going to wait for that thing to go away so you can read it. Go away. Maybe I just push play and goes away. There. You can read it. So many in the kin will be helped by this. Yeah, because our goal was now that we had this group that could get the full gear set, that we could run more runs and do more tier 3 and tier 2. That was our a goal. So you can see I'm running around. I'm so excited. I was so happy. I was like, we did it. I was like, thanks, man. It was so nice. They did a great job. So this is where we loot it. Let's see what we get with the loot. All the loot drops. I'll stay on this side so you can kind of see the loot we got. Learned a ton. Yeah, it was a really big learning experience. The whole thing was crazy. It was just really cool. It was so fun. But again, I wish that we a little cheer for Lordoflores there. I really wish that no one's fault here or ours, but that we almost had been able to do this farther back, but we kind of started all raiding near the end of this expansion. So it was kind of like we wanted to run more people. Useless big love for Voice of the Rings to our Kinship. That was very nice. You can see them over there in chat. I wanted you guys to be able to see the chat. That's why I brought it up. But I think did I bring up the sound back up? Because there's no sound right now. Like, not at all. It's kind of scary. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Again, big thanks to Lordoflores, Descendants of the Tree, and the 2 other kinships. Was it a total of 3 or 4? I think it was 3 who helped us in Thai. Oh no, that's a new name. We had 4 different kinships help us. There's another one right there. As I jump around right there. Also help us out. So that was very nice. I don't know, maybe it's an alt and they're all kinship, or if they're full on kinship. Again, most of these names I had known. They walk around. They still play. Yeah. Cool. There it is. Let's go ahead and jump and see. This guy was super awesome. He gave me one of the, I think it was the Tanker DPS chest piece. He already had it, so that was very kind. What was it? For the Thrill of Danger. It was that one. It was like the yellow line. Or it was one of the other ones. It was interesting. So I think he gave me it because it was higher. It was a higher level, and I think I told him that. I did get that one. I told him, and then I think I asked him if he wanted this one back or something. I remember. I think that's why he gave it to me. Yeah, roll for a Kinney. Yeah, that's what I remember. There we go. Yeah. See, you can even see right there over on the side. We were. That was our goal right there. Daniel's saying we were going to help our kin with running things now too. That was totally 100% our plan. We were going to do it, but then we talked to their other members of Pioneers and kin. We were like, guys, we have a week. Should we try to run more of them? And we kind of decided, yeah, let's just wait for the new cap as a group. But we worked really hard to get to this point, so I'm very proud of the kinship. And, for this little squad of us that tried to do this. And we beat tier 2 over and over, too, with our Pioneers group, with our other kinship members, too, as well. So that was a very big success for when we started. It was very impressive how far we got and how fast. And it was very nice that they helped us out with a tier 3 and helped us learn and get through this one. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it, my friends. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and jump another 30 seconds here. Kind of look around here a little bit at everybody who was here. And yeah, it was a super exciting, and it was a happy time. They're doing some trading, and yeah, that was it. So, and my dogs are happy too. You hear them in the background celebrating, right, Brody? Brody's saying, you're like, yeah, that's not what we're barking about. Okay, all right. They just had to do it. You know, everything was beautifully quiet at my house until the last second of the video recording, right? That's okay. I love the dogs. They're wonderful. So and that was nice. He gave me the helmet for my burglar. He even gave me a tracery. What a guy. I felt like I literally said in this moment, I think, you guys are spoiling me. That's what I said. But most of them had all of this in better gear because they had done higher tiers. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, though. That was a really fun learning experience. And by the end, you can see the battle was 13 minutes, 13 minutes straight. And that I took a 22, what was it? 22 something, 21 damage per second. So again, pretty good numbers overall. Wow, we did it. 1 hour and 30-minute video. We did it, guys. I broke down a 4.5 hours of video into that. So hopefully that was helpful and fun for you guys. Again, big thanks to Lordoflores, Descendants of the Tree, and the other groups for helping us out and planning it. He was the one that kind of planned it with Daniel the most. Oh, Rick gave me the Runekeeper helmet too. Yeah, I was being spoiled, man. But yeah, so that was it. I was giggling because I was like, he's like, anyone want it? And I was like, I'll take it. And everyone's like, all right, Zollin gets it. No one else wants it. Yeah, so yeah, Glain said something right there too. He said, unlocked, look forward to playing with you more in the future. Yes, indeed. We miss you guys. But yeah, that was really fun. Just really good time, good memory here, good nostalgic memory of a good rating, and we're gonna have many more to come in the future. So it's nice to be able to play with other communities here on the server of Glamdring, and just in general, great communities all over all the servers. But it was really fun, and we did it. And that was it. That was the end. And then I believe that that's the end of that video. We'll close that out. And then technically, I think I have another video here where I was kind of like trading stuff. This is where the menacing tentacles, you can trade for the menacing tentacles with embers and with the cold iron token, and you could get any piece of gear then for any character on your account. So that's when I went through here, and I believe I got some. I traded for one, and then I went and got my piece of gear I needed, which I forget which one it was. Seeing if I remember which one I got. Let's see. So I was just looking at things for fun here. So there's the shoulders. And it just so happened, by the way, that I had the turn-in for the shoulders as well. And that's the last piece I really needed. You could only get it at higher tiers. So I barter for the correct shoulder piece with the new thing you only get at tier 3. So I past tier 3 to be able to barter for a tentacle, which you can normally only get higher tiers, but you can barter for it if you do tier 3. And then once you had that, I got that, and I had to barter with embers for that and cold tokens. And then I was able to barter for the regular shoulder, but then I also had to have more stuff, which I believe, let's see what I got here. I got another menacing one. Boop. There we go. Okay. And then I'm able to barter for the gold shoulders, which, so those are in my inventory, but I could use those. But what I really want to do is I want to barter for the gold ones. I believe the gold ones were the tank ones. Or actually, were they? I was being very careful to not make a mistake. No, they weren't, actually. They weren't. I just put them on. So that was the set, though. I didn't have the 6 set. There it is. And I think, did I get the chest piece? No, I didn't have the chest piece yet either. I think that was the other one I needed. I'm looking at other things. Okay, come on, Zollin. You're wasting our time. Yes, here's the chest piece. So I literally need a tiny bit of embers. And I'm like, argh! So I think I broke down some embers. But anyway, I do get the full set now because of it. So I broke some things down for embers here. I was like, all right. I just went into all this jewelry that I had just sitting around. It's like, embers time! So I broke down a bunch of embers. And I believe I got the Yep, there's the whole set. I put it on. Have the whole set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh, I guess maybe I don't have the pants. I don't know. No, those are the pants. So anyway, yeah. So very exciting. Very cool. There's a little bit of a fun little extra addition here to the video. Well, anyway, guys, with that, my friends, I hope you have a great and wonderful day in Middle-earth. Thanks to my Patreons, Martin, Elraandor, and Reb. Appreciate that support. Thank you for all your support, guys, for the channel and watching. Hopefully it was a fun little flashback to like 5 months ago at the 150 cap with clearing tier 3 depths. Again, big thanks to the Pioneers group and to Daniel and to Lordoflores and Descendants of the Tree and the other 2 wonderful kinships that helped us as well. And all their members. We had a total of, unless they were using alts, we had like 7 people help us because 2 or 3 of them couldn't the one day. So they switched in some other people. But yeah, super cool. And I fulfilled my promise, my oath. I said that I was going to make this video. So anyway, see you guys soon. Stay happy. We got lots of cool stuff coming with the 160 raids. I already have one of them on the channel if you want to see us. We beat it at tier 1 for the first time. And who knows, maybe we'll beat it on the higher tiers. We'll do our best. God willing. So anyway, see you guys. Have a good one. Stay happy. And I'm at your service and your families as always. Baruch Khazad, Kuzar menu. See you soon. Cheers.